just want to pose a question at the beginning of this, right? We're all here because we want to accomplish things, right? Or we're trying to move in a certain direction, or we're trying to whatever it is, whatever reason that you're here, it's to improve, right? And the question that I have for you guys is, you guys, the question is, what inspires you to get closer to what you're trying to accomplish, right? I'm gonna ask that again. What inspires you to get you closer to what you're trying to accomplish? Feel free to you know, say it in the chat, or you could even message me personally, whatever, just send a direct message to me. But I want you to, and if you can't type, of course, I get it. But think about that. Like, what inspires you to get closer to what you're trying to accomplish? Are you inspired? Are you trying to accomplish anything? Right? These are like bullet points under that question. Because I know most people, or pretty much everybody, is going towards something. And I'm not saying it doesn't have to be like a financial goal, a professional goal, anything like that. It could be a health goal, right? Like it could be, like you might have a hobby that you're working on, right? You might, I don't know, you might be training for something, right? You at work, you may have like a team goal or something. You might be going for that raise. I don't know. But what inspires you to get closer to that? Like what is your why? Like we hear a lot of like stuff about people talking about their why. Like what is your why? Like what keeps you going? And then I have a follow-up question. Like what are the metrics that determine success in your field? Right? And I'm not again, this doesn't have to be professional goal or anything, but whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, what are the metrics that determine success? So if you're trying to get that raise or that promotion, what are those metrics? What does it take to get there? Like, are there metrics? Right? Like what determines success for you? Like those are questions, right? That I want everyone to think about. I'm gonna give y'all like about a 30 seconds to think about that. Right? Like those two questions. What inspires you to get closer to what you're trying to accomplish? And what are the metrics that determine success in your field or direction you're going in? Right? Because I have a lot of value to give you guys today. But I like to start whenever I'm, hosting a call. I like to start with like a question or just something to think about. Because when we hop on these calls, like it's not just about hearing, the information, right? Yes, you are supposed to hear it, right? Faith comes by hearing, but what are you going to do about it? That's something to think about. So, hope y'all thought about that, right? Like, I hope it kind of made y'all think a little bit. But what I want to talk about is like direction, right? Appreciate that, Veronica, for putting that in the chat for us, right? But what, where are you headed in your life? Like, what direction are you going? A lot of times, like as humans, we allow life to determine everything for us. Like we allow our day to go ahead and get started and not necessarily know where we're going. We let the day dictate what's going on. We let the world dictate what's going on. We let how life is going dictate how our day is going to go. Right? But champions, right? Winners, right? Successful people in whatever field, they have direction. Right? Imagine if you just get in a car, you don't turn the GPS on, you don't know where you're going, you don't have any direction, and you just start driving. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Right? Eventually, you're gonna run out of gas, right? Or you're gonna run into something, drive into something, or you're gonna fall asleep because you're just driving aimlessly. Now, I know that that example probably seems a little bit extreme, or it seems probably even goofy, but a lot of times in our life, that's what we're doing, and we're just wandering aimlessly. And I know everyone that's here, um, I know everyone that's here kind of, we want different, right? Because we hop on these calls however often, right? We want better for ourselves. We're actually shooting for something. But that most people are just out here wandering aimlessly, like zombies. Like if you ask somebody, like what are you heading towards? The average person is probably gonna be like, what do you mean? Like I'm going to work. Like I'm just, you know, whatever. They don't have any direction. So I want you to think about like where are you heading? Right? So also I like I have another example. Like I just said shooting for something, right? Again, I coach basketball on the side a little bit. Um, imagine you're on a court, a basketball court, and there's no basket. Like there's no basket, and you're just shooting. It's like, how are you even gonna know like there's no lines, nothing. It's just a court, like just wood or whatever. You just shoot. Like there's no way you're gonna know where you're shooting. Like you're probably gonna like walk back out the gym because it just doesn't make sense. So again, like that's what people are doing in their life, just wandering aimlessly, right? Like we're just wandering aimlessly, and it's just not a recipe for success, right? So I just wanted to start the call by like challenging everybody to think about that. Like let's like try to get some direction in your life. But now on another note, right? I like to talk about goals. I like to talk about planting seeds and all of this good stuff. So I want to talk more about like goals, right? Because we're still in January, we're still the beginning, right, of a new year, right? I know there's the average person out there is like, man, what's next? Like they keep like just waiting for the next thing to happen instead of like instead of like you know shooting towards something or going in a certain direction. They're waiting for something that's already predetermined, right? Like I'm in New Orleans and everybody's waiting for Mardi Gras to happen, right? They're waiting for if you in a relationship, right? Like you're waiting for Valentine's Day or you know, we're waiting for the next holiday or Easter or a birthday or Mother's Day, whatever. Like we're waiting for the next major event, right? And like that's already on the calendar. But what is it that you're going for every day, right? Like what goals do you have that you want to accomplish in the meantime? Because think about it. If you're waiting for the next holiday, on the holidays, you're not doing anything towards your goals. You're celebrating. You're having a good time, right? You're partying, whatever. But what are you doing in the meantime? Right? What are you doing on an everyday basis? Right? And so I know for a lot of us, like we do have goals, right? Let me know, like, if y'all have goals. Does anyone have goals? I'm going somewhere with this. Like I know in the past, like when I've written goals out, right? Whether it's yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals, whatever. A lot of my goals were what's called a do goal, right? Excuse me. Like do goals. Like I wanna do this. I wanna, okay, I wanna accomplish this. I want this to happen, right? I wanna I wanna do this. Instead of and no, oh, hold on. Whoops. Sorry about that. Yeah, like we have do goals. Like I want to make a certain amount of money. I want to do this. I want to accomplish this. And those are fine, right? Those aren't awful, right? At least again, like you're going towards something, right? You there's something that you want to happen. However, if we have these goals, right? These do goals, but we're not changing who we are, then those goals are not likely to happen. It's unless it's a goal that you just already know is going to happen. I'm talking about like massive goals, right? Goals that you're not quite sure how you're going to accomplish them. But if we don't change, right, or if we don't, you know, constantly improve who we are, then those goals may not happen. However, one thing I learned, you know, this weekend, I actually got to hear from like a pastor, right? And you would think like, okay, like he's gonna, we may not always like listen to pastors, right? For whatever reason, but he talked about having what's called B goals, right? Like for example, one of my goals, where are my goals? Those right here. One of my goals, right, for the year is I want to make $100,000 with, in one area of my life, right? Want to make six figures in one specific place. But if you've never made six figures before, how are you going to just all of a sudden make six figures? Like, yes, you can work a little harder. Yes, you can do a little bit more. But what would cause that change for you to work harder? Right? You have to become the person. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. You have to become the person that will hit those goals. So yes, while I do have a goal to make six figures in that area of my life, I have to become the person that works that hard. Become the person that has faith that that can happen, right? Become the person that, just pushes through everything, right? So you have to become the goal. I mean, become that person. So as we go forwards, let's focus more on those B goals, right? It's not just the do goals. Do goals are fine, right? They're fine. But let's focus on those B goals as well, right? Let's be the person that inspires other people around us. Let's be the person where everyone wants to come to you when it comes to, feeling good or like inspiration, right? Let's be the person, right? Because if you think about anybody that you look at, right, that you look at as, whether it's somebody that motivates you or somebody that inspires you, you got to think about who that person is, not just what they do, right? Because you can go on YouTube and somebody can tell you the things that they do on a day-to-day basis or the things that they've done to accomplish those goals, right? You can go on YouTube, right? You can Google it. a lot of the information is out there. But the difference between that person that has accomplished those massive things or the things that inspire us, right? The difference between them and us is the person that they became, the person that they are. Right? It's not just about what they do. It's about who they are. Right? Let me know, like, does that make sense? Right? Focus on who you want to become. Right? Focus on what you become. Right? And because right, I got this note, man, that I got from that pastor. He said, we are the total sum of we're the sum total of our decisions. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier about direction. We are the sum total of our decisions. Your direction, right, not your intention, determines your destination. Let me say that again. Your direction, not your intention, determines your destination. So let me kind of break that down, right? And if y'all want me to repeat that, just let me know. Let me break that down for you. Where you're going, right? Who you're becoming, not what you want to do, determines where you're going. Who you want to be or who you're becoming, right? Where you're heading, where you're heading and what you're becoming is what determines where you're going. So yes, we all want to do a bunch of things, right? We have all of these things that we want to do or that we hope could happen. But what are we doing and who are we becoming is going to determine all of that. Not what I want or just only what I want. Like I could say I want to make $1 million every day. I could say it. But if I'm not going in that direction, if I'm not in the right opportunity, if I'm not in the right place, right? If I'm not personally developed enough, if my mind isn't right, it ain't gonna happen. It's just you're just wishing at this point. Like if I get in a car and I say I want to go to California, but I don't know what California at. I don't have a GPS. I don't know what direction it is. I don't know anything about it. I just want to go. I don't even have gas in the car. Might not even have a car. Might not even, or that's a long drive, but like, I don't know. You don't even know how to get to the airport, right? Like, you don't know where you're going. You just know where you want to go. You don't know how to get there. You don't know what city in California. You don't know where you're going to stay, right? Does that make sense? Like, we don't know anything about it, about how I'm going to get there. We just know that that's where we're going to go. And a lot of times, people don't know where they're going. Like, that's number one. A lot of times people don't even know where they want to go. And I'm not talking about a specific place like California or whatever. I'm just saying people don't know where they're going in their life or where they want to go. So if I don't even know where I want to go, how am I gonna if I don't know that small part, if I don't know where I'm gonna go, then how am I gonna go anywhere? Right? If I do know where I want to go, but I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I don't know what vehicle I'm gonna take, right? Or I don't know what direction I need to go in. Like those are small things. And yes, it sounds a little silly when I'm talking about like travel, but it's the same thing when it comes to where we're going in our life. Like where are you going? And then what does it take to get there? Who do I need to become to get there? Right? Those things are super important. They're urgent, right? You have to know these things. Right? We got to know it. Otherwise, we're just aimlessly walking around, right? We're moving, and we just have our same routine where we don't know what was gonna happen from one day to the next, right? Exactly, exactly, Veronica. Like we got to know where we're going, right? And then as we have our goals or what we're trying to accomplish, the direction we want to go in, or whatever the destination is, we got to start moving in that way. And I like, I'm big on faith and just have faith that as long as I continue to move in that direction, God's gonna, you know, order the path for me. But if I don't move in any direction, right? If I don't know, the destination, then how am I gonna get there? Right? And that's not, I didn't, this isn't me telling you this. Like I didn't make this up. This is spiritual. This is biblical, right? He's gonna show you the way. Once you start going that way though. Like think about it. Let me use the going to California um example again. If I just go like think about this. Is this fundamental right here? If I just go sit in the car, I don't turn the car on, or I turn the car on, right? It's cold, so I put the heat on, and I just sit there. Am I gonna eventually get there without driving? No. So what do I have to do? Make my phone charge so it doesn't die on me. But I'm gonna turn on the GPS and I'm gonna start driving. Now, as I'm driving, they may have they might say, okay, boom, you're getting there in 10 hours. Right? I'm just using that as an example. It takes way longer than that. It may it's gonna let's just say 20 hours, right? But what's gonna happen, right? Eventually, right? I'm gonna run into some traffic, right? Or they may have a road that's closed down, or they may have a car accident and traffic stops, right? Or I gotta stop and get gas at some point, or I get hungry, so I gotta stop, pull over, get some food. But if I'm still following the GPS, when like if there's a shorter way, usually that GPS is gonna like, okay, save 10 minutes by taking this direction. All right. Are y'all following me right now? Like, let me know. Like, because if I don't put the GPS on, I won't know. And so that's the car example. But the same thing applies in our real life, right? Just start going in that direction, right? Put a plan in place, right? Think about where it is that you want to go, what you're trying to do, and start moving in that direction. And as we start going in that direction, let's have a plan. And then the plan may have to make a few tweaks to it. But the closer we get to our goals, the clearer it's going to be, right? So again, man, like I hope everybody has a great day. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'm feeling fired up. All right, coming back from Houston, I was at a convention, and I'm excited, right? I was talking to a few people, man, and I just that conference, it just gave me more clarity, right? And it gave me confirmation, right? And for those of us, that are, going towards anything, trying to accomplish anything big, huge, massive, you may not know what it takes to get there, right? You may not. But what I will tell you is, find somebody or some people, that can help you get there, right? Start figuring out what it takes to get there and just go. Figure it out. Have faith. All right. So it's a new week, man. Got a new month about to start. Let's finish off the month of January strong. We have 3 days, right? And you know, as we close out this call, man, I'm gonna ask for, you know, some prayers because I'm about to have surgery in a couple of hours, right? Nothing major. To me, it's not major. Um, so yeah, man, if you could just, you know, lift me up in prayer, that would mean a lot to me. Um, I already know it's gonna be successful because I just have faith that it will, you know, and then after the surgery, recover for a little bit and I'm still gonna be at it. All right, so everybody have a great day. I love y'all. Y'all deserve to win, man.